Hi, Con. You haven't posted questions about your poem, so I'm going to approach it much in the way that I would my normal end comments and questions for other writers. So first, there's a lot of interesting things happening in this poem. There's a real tension between the sort of the humor and the, not horror, but, real life nature, natural horror and pain and that's encapsulated even in the title, Freddy the Tarantula. Like, it's such a cutesy name. It reminds me of Lucas the Spider, who, if you haven't looked up Lucas the Spider, you really should. He's adorable. And then we have this opening italicized section, which seems to set us up for, it's a descriptive from an outside voice. So it's something telling us what the tarantula is like, what the tarantula does. And then we move into the narrative of the tarantula. And, the first two stanzas of the narrative play with space on the page in a real fun way. Well, it could be fun or it could be emotional. It could be both either, right? But there's these pauses. As I move to catch my cricket, I can hear him chirp. And even that little individual chirp gives like an extra sonic quality to it, and a mimetic quality. Makes me hear the chirp of the cricket. This next one is interesting because this is particularly where I did not read this as humorous at all. Though my prey may say I'm wicked, I insist I hurt and cripple. So the enjambment is interesting because the actual phrase is I hurt and cripple, which isn't necessarily negating that I'm wicked, but it's an interesting lineation where I insist I hurt. But the first time I read this, I really read it all very, very seriously. We have the purpose-driven, the 8 hairy legs, the orange fang, the venoms, I'm moving to catch my prey, I insist I hurt. And then in cripple, swiftly paralyzed to drain the juices from the veins, I drink to stay alive. There's a lot of great sonic play here. And nature charts her brutal course. That seems to be particularly telling. There's not the spider, the speaker that's presuming to be the spider, the persona, is not judging their own predatory instincts. Nature charts her brutal course. This is what I do. This is what I was made for. This is how we work. As all will come to pass, I am a minister of death. That all is very heavy. So then to end, so crickets watch your ass. Is it a funny line? Yeah, and does it play with the Freddy the Tarantula aspect of the humor? Yes, but nothing. On rereading it, I found more humor in the as I move to catch my cricket, I can hear him chirp. Though my prey may say I'm wicked, I insist I hurt. The space in the lines, it became more playful. And of course, there's the rhyming aspect. I really do tend to think, though, that at the moment, particularly the last two stanzas, they're not playing with space. They're not playing with meaning. They're really just saying, I poison things and drink their blood, and nature is brutal, and I'm a minister of death. So then to say, so crickets watch your ass, it seems tonally a bit off. This is my biggest question about the poem is, where does it feel that its humor is? Because I can see some playfulness in those two stanzas with the rhyming and the spacing. And that is enough there for me to say, yeah, it's an irony kind of humor. I still don't know that it would set up that last line. And then those last two, and especially in the first stanza, those three stanzas really have no humor in them. And so the last line, where's the poem seeing the humor? Where is the form helping the humor or helping the seriousness? And I guess this is for everyone, right? Where is the poem seeing the humor? How is the form in each of the stanzas, contributing to or taking away from the humorous tension. And if we look at this last line, does it really have a place in this poem? If it does, how is the poem working for it to set it up or against it? And if we were to take it out or replace it with something else, what would that mean in the poem, right? Like, what does this poem at its heart want? Does it want to tell a story about how hard nature is, but it doesn't moralize against the tarantula, the predator? Is it invested in being kind of morbidly playful about this kind of natural predation? Is it a humorous tension? Does it want to balance all of them? So is it something else that I'm not seeing? What does the poem really want at its heart, and how can it best achieve whatever balance that it's seeking? A lot of fun things happening, a lot of interesting, beautiful things happening, and that central tension of how funny is it, how ironic is it, how serious is it, how much of a teaching lesson is it? I think that's the question that we want to ask. So that's what I would ask others to look into in their responses. Thank you.